I looked at Ohio State last year. Okay, now granted, it was the first game of the year. They were home with Notre Dame. That game, Notre Dame took them to the mat. That game was a 21-10 game. Ohio State scored late to open it up. They have to make a trip, the fourth game of the year, to Notre Dame. They open up on the road at Indiana. They're at Michigan to end the year. They're at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's always a pain in the ass. I'm just telling you, that's my surprise this year in the Big Ten. I think they're going to surprise negatively, and I actually think Nebraska is going to surprise positively. Now, does that mean I think Nebraska is going to be Tom Osborne, Nebraska? No, but I think they're going to be a 7-5 team.
Nebraska.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I would agree with you there. I thought Nebraska would do better than they did last year, but I also see them as a 7-5. But Emil, I hear all that you're saying. To me, this thing still comes down to the same old, same old. It's Ohio State and it's Michigan. Penn State will find a way to disappoint their faithful and anyone else, like a Emil Calomino, who thinks they are have a legitimate shot here. That just seems to be the MO for Penn State. I'm not going to drink that Kool-Aid. They don't beat Ohio State and Michigan. That's just not what they do. And until they show me otherwise, damn it, I am going to stick with that. So I think it does come down to Ohio State and Michigan. And what it really just boils down to for me is what are the records going to be for these two teams when they clash with each other? Is Ohio State going to survive that game at Notre Dame and come in undefeated against a Michigan team who could be undefeated? And then,
but I don't think you have to worry about that. I think if you're saying that, I think who do you think wins the game? Because that's probably who wins the conference.
Right. And I think that's the only thing that's up in the air here. I think it's Michigan. I think I would agree with you. Michigan is moving in that right direction. This is what Jim Harbaugh envisioned. I think this is what the powers that be at Michigan envisioned when they hired Jim Harbaugh. It maybe took a little bit longer than some of these new generation folks expected it to be. It took about as long as I think it needed to take for it to be sustaining. You don't want that overnight success. I've seen it happen quite a bit. So a guy comes in and he seemingly turns the program around in 1 or 2 years. He's 11-1. He's in and then that guy's either gone or the fans can't take the fact that he's gone 8-4 the next year. I think this ascent has gone the way that it needed to go. And I think Michigan's going to be a problem for quite some time, so long as Jim.
And there's a lot of Michigan fans who won't admit to this. They wanted him fired.
Oh, yeah, they're going to run from that now. They're going to hide.
They wanted him fired. And here's the thing. I always ask any fan, when you want to fire your coach,
who you bringing?
That's right.
Yeah, you bringing Brady Hoke back. You're bringing Rich Rod back.
That's right. And
who can coach Michigan?
Pardon me?
Who can coach Michigan? You know what I mean? Takes a certain kind of person.
No, and years ago, you'd say that to me when I wanted to get rid of Clay Helton. And the truth of it is, let's be honest, I never saw it. I mean, we talked to you and I did shows about that when that whole thing was going, who's USC going to hire? No,